No, I've never met Star, that guy Star in person actually, but me and him, we got a similar personality. So I thought, but we're on opposite sides of the spectrum and whatnot. But I always related to him as the black one, and he was big and talked like just like the white mob guys. Eh? That's what I always seen of him because I came from a big mob family, with all white guys, kind of like Goodfellas, Montreal, Canada, and down and up. My uncle's a big better, and he's a big horse guy, at Rexdale something or the other in Toronto and whatnot. And we're jockeys. Let's just put it that way. We're a bunch of jockeys, and they were, and they were big in the casino, and they were big in the betting, the horse betting and things. Anyways, other things of that nature. Uh he talks like one of them, but the white one, so he knows that game of things because he's a big mob movie guy. I can tell. But uh I never talked to him directly. I called in and they were doing that thing. I knew they were gonna do it. I knew they were gonna do it. They weren't recording me on their thing or whatever. Because I learned that early on in the game, eh? I was like, okay, I got blackballed here, blackballed there. I was like, then you start recording all your own stuff. Anyway, I did. When I figured out, I was like, bro, this shit was hot. Bro, they would have made millions with this. Millions. I'm like, I know my shit because I'm a huge fan of everybody else and I know my stuff. I'm like, where's my shit? But I learned that early on when I seen how Gunplay did Gotti and all that kind of stuff, and it all kind of interconnected and worked out. And one of those situations actually was they sent Star at our team or whatever. Uh, but I wasn't me that responded. It would have been a different situation. This is sort of my response to that one. But General Beans or whatever answered the phone. He did that thing. He's yelling and screaming, da da da. He's going after Gunplay and yada yada. But I don't think General Beans knew who Star was. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. See, that's what I always thought, but he probably did. Gotti, I don't think he knew exactly who Star was. I had to show him. Or I don't even think he did for a long time, still doesn't, but he just thought it was, well, they said it was Gunplay's manager, Star, who really, now that I've gotten to this point, I realized, even it took me a while, was they sent this comedian Star or whatever at us to act like he's actually a real street cat too, and he's one of the most aggressive of their team. They have a specific team in America. This guy's one of them. Rick Ross, Gunplay, Wayne, Birdman, Nicky, do 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 do. There's certain ones that are on a certain team, but they're not all of America. They're just these certain ones. They're not everybody in America. They're the most successful of the rap and entertainment industry, and they're heavy in the streets too. But they're not everybody in the streets too. There's all types of ones, and they might pick you up and might not or whatever. And I always thought, oh, they never pick me up or whatever like that. But I kind of just weaned my way in, right in, and it just fit in naturally because I just really grew up the way I really just, I don't know. Some people was lying about how they grew up. I know a guy like that that said they were in Florida a lot more than they were really in Florida. Never really went to school in Florida. Doesn't really know nobody in Florida except the one, but he's got a small story in Florida. Um, a story that's profitable, and I believed in it, and that's my brother. And that story was with him and Junior, and I had it, and I believed in my brother. I knew he was going to be the John Gotti. I knew he was going to be John Gotti, and I always will. I'll ride with my brother to the end with his music because that's my music. That's my family's profit. And when I say my family, my mom doesn't got nothing to do with it really, and nothing like that. It's just me. Me and my brother makes his ins and outs and all that. But he likes selling his clothes more. He's like he does clothing designer. He's almost like a Ralph Lauren with it. And I wish he would we could get on top of it where we could get into a proper big mansion of a house and have all types of his, because he has got all these designs. They're done. You can always go back and remanufacture old designs. They're there on the internet ready to work to continue business with. They're there. They're templates. They're ready to go. You could have the entire collection of clothing he's ever had and things like that, and he'll be a multi-gajillionaire. It's all ready to go whenever we're ready, whenever people are ready to step up. Like I built a hell of a career for myself. Anyway, I'm gonna get off Star's face, but man, he's live all the time. And if I'm no, not Stars, but I'm gonna look into this too and subscribe because there was something that popped up earlier that happens to be in my content that uh, looked quite interesting. Well, what's his name? Star Report. Yeah, he's quite the entertainer. What's this one? I don't know, but it ain't Star Report. Anyway, he's a black entertainer. Many people know him. He mostly covers these black stories or whatever, but every once in a while he sparks my interest. I'm like, you know what? I'm ready to go tell some Star jokes. I mostly go in there and just rag on him and like, sort of like I feel like I'm his, uh, but I'm not. But he's a relation, eh? Because it's hard to explain like Toronto and New York's relationship. You know, we know they're the Big Apple, and we're the little worm that goes in there and gets to their apple, starts eating away at it. Star Report. Live from Atlanta. I thought it was New York. Why did he move to Atlanta? He's like on his Jordan Tower thing over there. One other person I like, Jordan Tower from Atlanta, since we're on Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia. And one of my favorite songs of all time that speaks of that place is Georgia by Lil Wayne. And I was in the United States during the George Bush days. So that was an experience. When you're hearing Georgia by Lil Wayne, you're actually down by Georgia, if not in Georgia. And it's talking about Bush, Georgia Bush. And I was actually down there or whatever, and Georgia Bush is actually the president. Yeah, that's how I got to grow up. I was really there, really listened to it, really at the time. Didn't listen to it when I was 5 years old now or whatever. I was alive in the flesh during the actual period of time or whatever. So that's a certain thing that I could appreciate. But I'll tell you what, I never seen Wayne one time when I was in the States. It's only there 5, 6, 7 years or whatever. But he did not live in Florida, Miami at the time. So I was in Florida. He was a Louisiana cat at the time when I lived down there. Then you had Katrina and all that. I remember Katrina and all that. And I got hit with Charlie and all that when I was in Florida. It wasn't near as bad as Katrina, but it was fairly bad. That was a famous one. Was that Charlie? And then there was Andrew. That's what we had learned. And then there was another lots, but I got hit with the Charlie directly. But Wayne got hit with Katrina. That was short. That was earlier than Charlie. 2003, I believe they got hit with Katrina. I'm not sure, but they moved up. They got moved around. But I remember Wayne, man. He's the best rapper alive. Well, the first rapper I got into, Mac May, the president, gonna turn the White House black again, and all that, you know. And yeah, he motivated me, Mr. Wayne. Mr. Carter.
It's dedicated to the President of the United States of America. Yeah. Y'all might know him as George Bush. But where I'm from, Lost City of New Orleans, we call him this. Georgia. That's right. Georgia. Bush. Georgia. You know who you are. Georgia. Let's go. Georgia. Bush. Georgia. Bush. Georgia. That's what we call you. Gangsta Brazil. Dedicated to the one with the suit. Thick white skin and his eyes bright blue. So-called beef with you know who. Fuck it, he just let him kill all our troops. Look at all the bullshit we been through. Had a nigga sitting on top of their roofs. Hurricane Katrina, we should've called it Hurricane Georgia. Bush. Then they telling y'all lies on the news. The white people smiling like everything cool. But I know people that died in that pool. I know people that died in them schools. Now what is the survivor to do? Got no trailer, you gotta move. Now it's on to Texas and to Georgia. They tell you what they want, show you what they want you to see, but they don't let you know what's really going on. Make it look like a lot of